I now live in Cleveland, Ohio for the time being. We moved up here, me and my musician friends. We moved up here in April. We moved up early April. And I've been here through the summer, and I'm looking forward to the winter and freeze.
It's kind of an interesting choice. Coming here of all places.
It's cheaper. It's one of the cheapest places to live in the nation. Plus, compared to anything in Florida, it's a major city.
What are you doing tonight?
I'm playing a show down at the Blank Slate. I will be, playing people very sad music that I write. Imagine if Elliott Smith listened to a lot more bossa nova. I listen to a lot of ASMR videos, and so the way people speak when they whisper and when they talk is very interesting to me. And my singing style is pretty quiet, and so I feel like there's a bit of commonality there. It's not ASMR music that's been tried a lot, and never works. But that, and I read a lot, like the classics of literature. I'm currently reading Crime and Punishment, a book on depersonalization, and Donald Pott. So,
how long have you been into making music?
Well, my mom's entire family basically don't exist if you don't play music, so she turned me on to playing piano, got me lessons. I took classical piano lessons from the time I was 5 to the time I was 10. With the last year of that, I took a year of drum lessons too, drum set. And I've always been playing and singing. And I picked up guitar from the knowledge that I had about piano, and then from there I picked up bass and mandolin and drums. And, I was in the marching band. I played the drums in the stands. I did top bass, and my freshman year I did cymbals. I played snare for a little bit. I was the drummer for the jazz band. Did all the mallet instruments and stuff in the day, during the halftime shows. It was a good time, and I've always been kind of musical. I started writing songs when I was about 13. They were terrible.
Do you do anything besides play music, like creatively?
Sleep. I don't know. I work a lot, paying rent, eating and stuff. I like the zoo. I like going out in the woods and not being around other people. Currently, I'm a food runner at a restaurant and a dishwasher every Thursday.
What is your favorite part about creating?
I was thinking about this earlier, trying to find a way that's not super pretentious to talk about it, but I guess I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet. Basically, what gets me about music, I guess in an emotional way, is it's a double-edged sword. It serves two purposes. What music does is, for the artist, for the creator, at least in my experience, music can be something of a release. It's a way of taking a lot of emotion, be it positive, negative, neutral, angry, happy, sad, whatever, and making it compatible with our senses of understanding, making it easy to digest for yourself. So, like, a lot of my songs aren't directly personal. Sometimes they start out that way and then I revise them into obscurity. Sometimes they're just various. Sometimes I'm like, I have no idea where it comes from. They're a way to express and understand my feelings. It's a way to take experiences that I've had, sometimes putting them through the lens of someone else, sometimes putting them through the lens of a fictional character, sometimes not having the lens at all, sometimes being directly the one that I experienced. Whatever, it changes from song to song. But it's a way to take these feelings and try to paint them in reality so that I can understand them easier. And the second edge of the sword is that with music, you're releasing it tentatively. I know some people that just record and do stuff personally for themselves and no one ever hears it, except for their friends when they get hammered. But when people hear it, what's so impressive to me about art in general, be it film or literature, visual art, photography, music, poetry, whatever, the person experiencing it gains a kind of sympathy. I call it emotional solidarity. Because existence is horrible. Existence is really difficult for everyone. Existence is hard to deal with, and there's nowhere that you are alone like inside your own mind. conversation is one thing. Sometimes you get a real good bond with somebody, even if just for a moment. But what is so hard is finding a way to get sympathy that feels authentic. And I feel like that's something that's been growing as the years go by. I feel like maybe my generation feels that a little bit more than maybe generations in the past. I don't know, that's based on nothing but observation, but maybe there's some validity to it. And so you're able to listen to music and gain a kind of tangible connection. You no longer feel quite so isolated. You're not the only person who has experienced that exact somewhat nameless emotion, because language, and this is something that's talked about in music a lot, at least the music that I listen to, and it's also talked in, like, I think Wittgenstein was the philosopher that talks about it. I'm probably wrong on that too, but philosophers talk about it too, where language is only so useful, but you can't really get anything out of it when it comes to the very small minutiae of what you're trying to cover, especially when it comes to the depths of the human soul. Sometimes it's easier to describe the thing and then have the other person say, oh yeah, I know exactly what that's like. Sometimes it's easier to take that approach than it is to try to put a single word on it. Depersonalization, a mental illness that I and a lot of other people deal with, it's actually third in the world behind depression and anxiety, often coupled with one or both, but it's a separate set of symptoms of illness in and of itself. It's like you are not yourself. It's almost the opposite of dissociative identity disorder. Sometimes it's based on trauma, sometimes it's based on quite literally nothing. You get into an accident which causes the minor brain trauma that, as a matter of physiology, causes depersonalization as an interruption in the experience. And that's a common thing that's talked about. People that have depersonalization, as the community of people that are aware of it, grew. It grew because everybody was talking about these symptoms, and somebody was looking way back in an early issue of the DSM and found, what it was called. So sometimes it's easier to do that, and I guess that's what I like about music, because that's a set of skills that I have that I can use to paint portraits that other people can recognize themselves in, as a way to gain sympathy, as a way to feel not quite so fucked up.
Do you have any recent work, or are you working on anything currently?
I released 3 EPs over the course of last year, and then I released a full-length album in March of this year. And I am working on 3 long EPs, roughly 8 tracks each. I think 2 that are going to be 8 tracks each, one that's going to be 5 tracks, and I'm working on another full length. So I've been writing a lot and recording a lot, and hopefully late December, calling it that, that's when collection number 3 will be out. That'll be the first of this large batch.
And of course, with recording comes touring. Are you planning on doing anything like that anytime soon?
Defining soon. I'm doing one, planning it, starting it now. I'm working in it's gonna be June, that's what we're looking at. Me and a friend of mine, Anthony Cachinano, he's in Florida, and I'll be moving back to Florida in late April or early May. So he and I are planning a tour. We're gonna try to go up the East Coast and then back down the eastern part of the Midwest. And do that in like 2.5 weeks in June.
Okay, is it going to be your first tour?
Absolutely.
Break down something you find unique about your creative process.
Oh, I think probably the most unique part of my writing process is that I just don't fucking have one. Sometimes I've got like 3 or 4 that I'm working on now. They may end up just as poems. They may end up years later. No idea. It's easy for me to sometimes just sit down and crank one out, depending on what I'm feeling, how long I've been able to think about it, and how, basically how easy the words come. It varies very heavily from song to song. Recording them is a completely different process. I have, it varies instrumentation-wise, so how much time it takes not only to engineer it, but also to just record the parts and figure them out. And because I'm playing most of the instruments myself, I have Chris Bayou, very talented composer and arranger, saxist, and bassist. I have him helping me out. I recorded the full length that I released last year, or this year. He arranged some sax parts for me. He's going to be working on, hopefully doing a sax solo somewhere on this record. It's easier sometimes when I'm recording with him, but sometimes I'm able to just sit up in my room, just take everything I need in there, lock the door, and then just crank 3 or 4 songs out a night.
Thank you for giving us the chance to do this.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Seriously.
absolutely.
Give me a hug. That was great. That was awesome.